I'm gonna start this episode with a little bit of sadness, and the sadness is because my bowl picks were hot, juicy garbage this bowl season. Um, it didn't start off very good. It tried to get better in the middle, and then just got real bad at the end. I will just say this: the second round of the playoffs, the quarterfinals of the CFP, I went 0-4. So pretty much, I'm an idiot. How did I miss all four? You just got to really pick badly, and that's what I did. So it's kind of a sad way to start the whole thing. I understand. I do. I really do. Um, but you know what? That's okay. There are 3 games left. That's the CFP games. The actual bowl games done that are just one game and you're done. Those are done. When we got CFP games left, that's only 3 games left. And so here's how it's looking. This is the old family bowl game standings. And I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Okay? I am embarrassed because I am tied for third place with a smooth 22-21 record. It's barely over 500. So that's what, 43 games that have been played, and I've won 22 of them. And so I'm tied for third, with fourth place nipping at my heels with 21 wins. And here is the deal. I'm down by 3 games. So you can probably do the math in your head and say, even if I win all 3 CFP games and in first place, the leader loses all 3, guess what? I still can't win outright. And then the other thing is you got to figure out a way to pick the opposite team of the first place team and then hope they win. Because if you pick the same one, if you win, you win together. If you lose together. So I don't know. It is what it is. Listen, I lost. And it hurts a little. It hurts a lot. So that's not very fun. But it's okay because we still get to watch the games and it's going to be awesome. My name is Jake McKenzie. This is Pad Level. And we have entered into 2026. It seems like I hadn't talked to y'all since last year. That was not good. But I've heard the joke like 17 times since the year started, so I figured I would at least throw it out there. And maybe I got a chuckle or two. But I'm excited about the new year. The new year brings lots of new opportunities, new things that can happen. For me personally, a wedding will happen this year that I'm in, that I'm not just in, but it's for me and my fiance. So that's exciting. Maybe some other things that could possibly happen. That's the great thing about the new year. You don't know. You don't know. And that is what makes it exciting. Okay. We're going to probably jump all around. All right. There's so much to talk about that I could try to keep it all just, one thing to the next, but you know me. I just sometimes I just can't do it. And today's probably going to be one of those days. If I do, great. But if not, just, you know, cut me some slack because my gosh, it's the stuff going on. It's unbelievable. I'm not talking about NFL playoff picture, which I am kind of paying attention to, but we're not going to talk about it here. Why? It's college football. Yeah, did those players play play college football? Yeah, they did, but they're not anymore. So we're going to talk about the transfer portal. So the transfer portal, I may or may not agree with. how the transfer portal is being used these days. But that's okay because it's still something we got to talk about because of how big of a deal it is. Because there have been some big time things going. The transfer portal window opened on January 2nd. Today is January 4th when I'm recording this. January 2nd was Friday. Okay. Now, here's part of my deal. The portal opened on the 2nd of January. There were student athletes who were taking visits on the 2nd. Now, with the portal opening on the 2nd, there's allegedly not supposed to be any talking to players before the portal. Allegedly. And we talked about it a week or two ago about Eli Drinkowitz saying there's no tampering because everybody's doing it. So it's not nothing illegal. Tell me how guys have visits on January 2nd when they haven't been talking to any other coaches. Impossible. There's a lot of logistics that go into it, and there's got to be some kind of communication. There's that. All right. So we got some pretty big time things happening right now. And some happened yesterday, some happened on Friday, some happened today. We're gonna start. I've been getting updates all day. And so I've got a list here. Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback at Cincinnati last year. He took a visit to Texas Tech on Friday, to LSU on Saturday. That was 1 and 2 days ago. And he has committed to LSU. So Lane Kiffin, it looks like he has snagged Brendan Sorsby for his first year at LSU, which is interesting. I could see Sorsby fitting in that offense that he likes to run. I could see it. I liked Brendan Sorsby, especially early in the year. Everybody did early in the year. You get kind of second half, the team as a whole fell off. Brendan Sorsby wasn't quite as good, but he still showed flashes of being really good. So that's an interesting one. Here's one that's going to blow everybody's minds. Drew Mestemaker, North Texas quarterback from this past year, the freshman who never started the game in high school and walked on to North Texas and started and took North Texas to the American Athletic Conference Championship game, almost the playoff. Yeah, he committed to Oklahoma State. His head coach, Eric Morris, went to Oklahoma State, and he just went to go see him. He visited Oklahoma State, I think, yesterday, committed, and he's probably signed. He's probably already in his dorm room or his penthouse, however they do it these days in college. Next. Okay, here's the big one, in my opinion. Isaac Brown, running back for Louisville. The kid is absolutely dynamic. He got in the transfer portal, a big person to get in the transfer portal. He commits to Texas. So Wisner, Texas is his old running back. He got in the portal. So they take Isaac Brown to replace him. Man, oh man. Caleb Hawkins, another running back, also North Texas. Big surprise here. Guess where he goes? Oklahoma State. That's right. I'm very excited about Isaac Brown going to Texas. That could be a great fit. Could be huge for Texas. Caleb Hawkins should be a great fit. This was his head coach this past season, and he's going to have his same quarterback, so should be pretty good. Another big surprise here. Nobody saw this coming. Byron Brown, quarterback South Florida, takes a visit at Auburn, commits to Auburn. You know why he did that? His old head coach, Alex Golish, just became the head coach at Auburn. Put 2 and 2 together. That's what you get. Byron Brown at Auburn. Nick Marsh, this is a wide receiver at Michigan State. He transfers to Indiana. There's another big one here that we're going to talk about in a second that I'm super excited about. That will make this look even better. Rocco Becht, this is one that nobody was expecting. From Iowa State to Penn State. Guess who's the coach at Penn State? Matt Campbell. Um, I love watching Rocco Beck play. I think he's going to be great there. I'm excited about that. Um, Luke Reynolds, tight end from Penn State. Guess where he transferred to? Virginia Tech. Guess who the head coach of Virginia Tech is? James Franklin. Where was he the start of the season? He was at Penn State. So a lot of these are guys who have been with these coaches in their current school and are moving with them. Indiana hits another one. Toby Osunsanmi. I don't know how you say it. Osun. Toby Osun. That's what I'm going to call him. Kansas State. He's a defensive end. He commits to Indiana. That's 2 for Indiana right there. Now, Natty hasn't gone anywhere. He's still there. He's getting these guys, guys he's not coached yet. So, a big-time receiver, a big-time defensive end. All right, another Iowa Stater, tight end, Benjamin Brahmer, goes to Penn State. He moves there. He moves over there with Mr. Matt Campbell at Penn State. Now, this one is maybe the most exciting one to me so far. Josh Hoover, TCU. Remember early in the season, I was talking about how much I love Josh Hoover. His arm, he freaking shoots the ball out of his hand. It's like a freaking laser. He can move around a little bit. He has committed to Indiana. So, Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman in Indiana. He's gone, or going to be gone when the season's over. They just plug and play Josh Hoover. So, Indiana has pretty much made their bed and said, we're going to just recruit a transfer quarterback every year. Why wouldn't you? It's worked. What's the guy's name? Curtis Rourke from last year from Ohio University comes in Indiana. The biggest turnaround ever. Then he graduates. They bring in Fernando Mendoza for 1 year. Heisman. Got a chance to win the Natty. Now they're going Josh Hoover from TCU. You know, Kirk Cignetти is a big on production, not potential. And they've been pretty spot on this whole time. So it's exciting for Indiana and Josh Hoover. Could be a great marriage there. Austin Simmons, the backup quarterback at Ole Miss, thought he's going to be the guy this year until Trinidad Chambliss comes in about game 3 or 4 and takes a job, and Austin Simmons gets injured. Austin Simmons gets the portal, and he is moving to Missouri. Bo Perbula got in the transfer portal, so that allows Austin Simmons to go to Missouri. This one I'm not as sure about. Austin Simmons showed some flashes early in the year. Then we didn't get to see him much because of Trinidad Chambliss. But Eli Drinkowitz does a great job. He had a transfer quarterback last year with Bo. Did good until he really got injured. They still had a pretty decent team the whole year. It'll be interesting to see how Austin Simmons fits in the Missouri deal. Culture. Wyatt Young, wide receiver, North Texas. Guess where he went? Oklahoma State. Also moved with the old head coach. So that's 3 guys who've gone from North Texas to Oklahoma State. Auburn's got several guys in the top, or multiple guys in the top 50 in these portal rankings. One of them, Jay Crawford, the cornerback, he commits to Ole Miss. He's going over with Pete Golding to go play corner there at Ole Miss. Well, let's look at a few more here. Offensive tackle, Bryant Williams. So this is Louisiana University. The Lafayette, they don't call them Lafayette anymore, but the Raging Cajuns, Louisiana. Offensive tackle there. He commits to Florida State. Florida State's been pretty active here in the portal also, and we'll get to some more of these. Bryant Williams, offensive tackle, goes to Florida State. Quarterback Kenny Minchey, back up at Notre Dame behind C.J. Carr. He gets in the portal. This is Kenny Minchey gets in the portal. He has committed to Nebraska. Dylan Raiola leaves. What's the cat's name who was played after Raiola got injured? Kenny Minchey gets picked up there to go to Nebraska. Interesting. All right. Defensive lineman, this is the interior guy, Ian Giffard. Arkansas defensive lineman commits to Texas. That's 2 guys for Texas they picked up there. All right. Wide receiver from Missouri, Marquise Johnson, he commits to Mississippi State. Mississippi State making some noise there. Jeff Lebby. Okay. Come on. No, we got some more here. Hold on a second, folks. All right, here we go. We got 2 BYU commits. Leona LaFowl. Don't I say it? From Texas. Gets in the portal. Commits to BYU. A tight end, Walker Lyons at USC, commits to BYU. That's 2 big ones for BYU. They're in the portal. Let's see here. Wide receiver at Alabama, Jalen Mbakwe, commits to Ole Miss. That's 2 for Ole Miss there too, a corner and a wide receiver. Hold on, there's one here I really need to talk about. All right, Georgia Tech backup quarterback, Aaron Philo. He has committed to Florida. DJ Lagway transferred from, kind of got pushed out, it seems. Wasn't a good fit, apparently, with the new staff and DJ Lagway. And they moved to Aaron Philo. Interesting. Back up, he was behind Haynes King. All right, we got a few here in a row. Noah McKinney, interior offensive lineman from Oklahoma State. New staff comes in, he leaves. TCU picks him up. Lincoln Kienholz, back up at Ohio State quarterback, has committed to Louisville. Miller Moss was there. He came from USC. So Louisville's using the old transfer quarterback method. All right. And then Cutter Boley, that's Kentucky's quarterback. Sam Levitt leaves Arizona State. Cutter Boley commits to Arizona State to go be with old Kenny Dilly. All right. Wide receiver Raiden Vines Bright from Washington commits to Arizona State. Wide receiver Brett Eskildsen, that's from Iowa State. Guess where he goes? Penn State. He follows the coach. There's one that I want to tell you about. If I don't see it in a second, I'm just going to tell you. Turbo Richard, running back from Boston College, Indiana. Folks, I'll just tell you this. A couple of these Indiana cats, I have not seen a ton, but I will tell you I have confidence because of how these guys recruit. They get guys who've got production or produced. Hauser, Cateen Hauser, Caton Hauser. I don't know how you say his name. Quarterback at East Carolina. Blake Harrell's old crew. He has committed to Illinois. All right. Altmaier, I believe, maybe is done. This is his senior year. Now you've got Caton Hauser moving to Illinois to be the quarterback. Okay. Looks like we may not even see it. You got another Iowa State. You got a running back, Carson Hansen. He has moved on to Penn State. Now here's a running back, Abu Sama. This was Iowa State's guy, Abu Sama III. He does not transfer to Penn State. He transfers to Wisconsin. He's trying to follow the rushers at Wisconsin to have a big rushing year. All right. You got the safety from Colorado, Taufik Biard goes to Texas A&M, goes to SEC. Interesting stuff there. Let's see here. Hayden Hansen, tight end at Florida, goes to Oklahoma. Gabe Burkle, tight end at Iowa State. You guessed it, Penn State. And that's all I got here. Here's the one I wanted to talk to you about. DJ Lagway is visiting Florida State. Now, he's not committed as far as I know. He is visiting Florida State. Maybe did it yesterday. Imagine moving from Gainesville, going to Tallahassee, moving from one rival to the other. DJ Lagway. Very, very interesting. So there's kind of your top transfer portal guys there who have actually made a decision. There are plenty more guys on this list who have just not made a decision yet. It's unbelievable. The portal just is just crazy, man. It's just really crazy. And we'll stay on top of it as we go through here. May get some TikToks out, may get some Twitter posts out, X posts out about it, about some things happening. So stay locked in with us there. We're going to talk about some bowl games because, like I said, the one and done bowl games are over. I love bowl season. Do I think we kind of need to shorten? I shouldn't say shorten the season. fix the calendar, tweak the calendar? Yes, I do. Should bowl games all be a little bit closer to the end of the season? I do think so. We're gonna recap some bowl games um, that I enjoyed, some that I didn't, and kind of I might even tell you how I went off the rails when picking these bowl games because, folks, I certainly did. I went off the rails, man. So, anyway, we started the bowl season off Saturday, December 13th with first of all a Celebration Bowl, okay, which I picked um, Prairie View A&M over South Carolina State. Prairie View A&M was up 21 to nothing, I believe, maybe 28, and lost in like 4 overtimes, 40 to 38. So that just really started me off in a crappy way. Boise State, Washington play that same night. I picked Boise State thinking they're going to be fired up. Washington may think they need to be in a bigger bowl game. I was wrong. And Washington won 38 to 10. It was a blowout. A great bowl game in Montgomery with two Alabama teams, Troy, Jack State. Jack State, uh, you know, uh, wins it 17 to 13. Now, let's talk about the 68 Ventures Bowl. Yes, that was in Alabama. That was in Mobile. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns Lafayette versus Delaware. Delaware's quarterback's last name is Minicucci. Just leave you with that. Delaware wins it. Our man Dalton was there. He lives in the area. He was there. I'll throw up a little picture of him right here. We had some others. I got to talk about this one because it's my alma mater. Kennesaw State goes to Myrtle Beach to play Western Michigan in the Myrtle Beach Bowl at Coastal Carolina's field and get absolutely hammered. The crazy thing about this one, it was 21 to nothing. I mean, it wasn't even halfway through the first quarter. Excuse me, it was halfway through the first quarter, but it wasn't far after the halfway point. And so 41 to 6 was the score. Western Michigan won. It was just a bad game for the Owls. And that just is what it is. Okay, and that same day on December 19th, you had Memphis and North Carolina State, or NC State. They dominated 31 to 7. And you get into playoff games. Alabama, Oklahoma. Alabama goes down 17 zip, comes back and wins 34-24. The next day, you had 3 playoff games. You had Miami, Texas A&M, a low-scoring game. Miami wins 10 to 3. Tulane and Ole Miss, Oregon and James Madison went exactly like you thought they would. Blowout games. The G5 is a great chance they won't have an automatic bid after this season. All right, let's move into some more. Tuesday, December 23rd, that was the day that I got engaged. A pretty good bowl game day. Louisville barely sneaks out a win versus Toledo. Western Kentucky beats Southern Miss, and Ohio beats UNLV in a big upset, which really got them into hiring their defensive coordinator as the head coach. All right, the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve, crazy game. Hawaii goes down 21 to zip in the first half, and they storm back in the second half and win the game 35-31, and then a brawl breaks out. I mean, not just like everybody gets up and gets in a huddle, everybody gets pushing around. They're dudes throwing haymakers with helmets off. That's a pretty dang big one as far as the brawl goes. Okay. New Mexico, Minnesota going overtime. Minnesota wins 20 to 17. UTSA dominates FIU. Pitt gets beat by Eastern Carolina. That one hurt me. Clemson gets dominated by Penn State. That one hurt me. This is on Saturday, December 27th. Army dominates UConn. UConn's quarterback's last name is Fagnano. I'll leave you just with that. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, which, let's talk about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I think that the Pop-Tarts Bowl is basically a more exciting, a more coveted game than possibly the national championship. That game is awesome. There are Pop-Tarts everywhere. And I would love to go, and I'd love to eat some Pop-Tarts at the Pop-Tart Bowl. I do like Pop-Tarts a lot. The craziest thing to me is they dropped those mascots into the big toaster, and two huge Pop Tarts come out. I mean, the Pop Tarts are bigger than a person than me, and it's pretty awesome. So I would love to go to that and eat a Pop Tart at the Pop Tart Bowl. They have to sell Pop Tarts at the Pop Tart Bowl, right? If they don't, that is an absolute shame and a sham. Almost the same word. One letter makes it different. But BYU beats Georgia Tech. That one hurt me. So, on this day so far, I'm 1-3. Fresno State wins. That's good. North Texas beat San Diego State by 2. I'm thinking, the whole staff of North Texas is gone. I'm thinking the guys who are saying they're going to get in the portal are not there. They're all there, and they are running it up. And San Diego State makes a valiant effort to come back and win at the end, and they cannot. Virginia beats Missouri 13-7. That one hurt me. So I'm currently 2-5 at this point on Saturday, December 27th, and I'm upset because Missouri couldn't do anything offensively, nothing, and Virginia couldn't either, but they did more than Missouri. And the last one just kind of saved me, at least kept me in the game at this point of the bowl season. LSU Houston in the Texas Bowl. Houston, this is a back and forth shootout, and Houston wins 38-35. Birmingham Bowl, your boy Griff was there to go watch Georgia Southern play App State, basically a conference rivalry game. Not basically, it is a rivalry game. And Georgia Southern beats App State 29-10. Let's see. Let's get Tennessee, Illinois. This is December 30th. Tennessee can't do enough. Illinois beats them 30-28. That's the Music City Bowl. That was in Nashville. It's a home game for Tennessee, basically, and they don't win it. USC plays TCU in the Alamo Bowl. These last two games hurt me because USC was leading in the game. They let TCU come back and tie it. They go to overtime. USC kicks a field goal. They've got TCU like 2nd and 25 or 3rd and 25. They throw a little check down or screen. I can't remember what it was. A short pass at the line of scrimmage. The running back breaks about 3 tackles and scores, and they win the game. TCU does. That one hurt me. Then Iowa plays Vandy in the ReliaQuest Bowl, and Vanderbilt starts the game off super sluggish, and they can't come back, and Iowa beats Vanderbilt. Arizona State played Duke in the Sun Bowl. So I picked Vanderbilt in that game. I picked Arizona State in the Sun Bowl. It's out in flipping Arizona, I think, or Texas. It's way out there. And Arizona State is leading in the last seconds of the game, or 2.5 minutes left. Arizona State gets the ball from Duke. About 3 plays later, they fumble it, and Duke gets the ball in Arizona State territory. Duke goes and scores, and Arizona State can't do a flipping thing. So that's 2 right there off the bat that hurt me. Texas beats Michigan. Utah beats Nebraska. And then we get to the playoff game. I picked Ohio State. You know what? I thought I picked Miami going into the game. But I picked Ohio State. So that's another one that I lost. So, but I'll tell you this, Miami looked like a team on a flipping mission. They dominated the football game up front from the first whistle to the last one. It was impressive to see what Miami did in that game. Ohio State looked like they were all out of sorts, and they couldn't do anything. A huge win for Miami, and Miami's now in the semis. Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon dominates Texas Tech. Texas Tech looked like they didn't know what they were doing. Looked like they were all out of sorts also, and just didn't have the juice to stick with the Oregon Ducks. And so the Oregon Ducks move on into the semis also to play the number 1 seed Indiana, who beat Alabama 38-3. It was embarrassing for Alabama. It was awful. It was bad. That's all I got to say. I mean, what else are you going to say? Alabama got Alabama'd. Nick Saban Alabama, I should say. Is Kurt Signetti the next Nick Saban? They look pretty good right now. In the last semifinal or quarterfinal game, Ole Miss and Georgia, a great game. I picked Georgia. Georgia was actually, believe it or not, was my national championship pick, and I have blown that. Okay, so that was terrible. Ole Miss goes in half trailing, and then they end up coming back and winning at the end of the game. And the end of that game, as far as like really weird at the end of the game, they stop they think the game's over. They said no, there's 1 second left because Georgia's trying to throw back on the kickoff return, and it misses it. It hits the pylon. There's 1 second left, so everybody's on the field. The stage is on the field for the trophy ceremony. They have to get all that stuff, everybody off the field, and then they kick the onside kick, the old watermelon onside kick, and Georgia got that onside kick, and no time ran off the clock. No time ran off the clock. So it's still 1 second. So everybody comes on the field again. Referees have to get everybody off. Pete Golding is angry. He's pissed. And so they get everybody off again. So Georgia can run one more play. And they try to do the old pitch back and forth. And they pitch it a lot of times, but don't get a whole lot of yardage, and then get tackled. The game's over. Huge for Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. Everybody's talking about Lane Kiffin's gone. And so now Lane Kiffin's gone. They're still winning. Super impressive by Pete Golding and the crew. But Lane Kiffin's still getting paid for those games. The bonus money from LSU. So who's really winning? Probably both. Let's see, man. And then January 2nd on Friday, the portal opened that day. Also the last one and done bowl games. You had Rice and Texas State. Texas State blistered Rice. Rice got in because of some teams who opted out of the game. So then you had Navy Cincinnati. Navy dominates Cincinnati 35-13 in the Liberty Bowl over Memphis. You had Arizona SMU. I was close to going 4-0 on January 2nd. Would have helped me out a lot. But Arizona, Connor, I'm sorry, I picked Arizona, and that's what I get. That's what I get for picking Arizona over SMU. I should have known SMU was going to win. SMU wins 24. They were at 24-0 in the second quarter, and Arizona, scores. I got to talk about this game at the end, so we'll get to it. SMU wins, and your boy and his fiance went to the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina for Wake Forest and Mississippi State, and Wake Forest won 43-29. Ended up being really close towards the end of the game. The score doesn't really show it, but it was pretty close. It was a 3-point game at one point in the fourth quarter, and then Wake Forest kind of blew it open. But here's the thing. I've never seen that much mayonnaise in my life. I haven't. And there were people taking the bottle of mayonnaise, shots to the dome with mayonnaise. There were people taking spoonfuls of mayonnaise and eating it. There was one guy, I think in the Wake Forest band, who had the Duke's Mayo, had a straw in there, and was drinking the mayonnaise. Now, allegedly, the straw's red. You can't really see what's going on. But at least made it look like he was drinking mayonnaise. Got up on a big screen. Disgusting. Awful. And then after the game, you got the classic dunk the head coach with a cooler of mayonnaise. Now, we stayed for that. Now, here's the other thing. The game lasted 4 hours. Mississippi State had about 20 dudes who got injured in the game. And the worst one was the quarterback. Last name is Taylor. Oh, man, I hated it for him. Oh, my gosh. I hope he didn't do anything too bad. I hope he can come back. But it was nasty. You know what? And I'll just go ahead and say it. You banned cut blocking back a few years ago. Offensive players cannot go low and block. But guess what? Defensive players can go low and tackle all day. All day if they want. Sorry, I muted the mic for a second. This guy went low on the quarterback, and that's what hurt his knee. The quarterback he's trying to make a football move, he's trying to spin or something, and the guy dives right in the back of his legs. Nasty. It looked terrible. and the guy goes straight down, and he's writhing in pain. So NCAA officials, whoever this committee is, I mean, there's so many committees. If cut blocking was so bad and you had to get rid of that, why are we letting defensive players tackle below the knees and at the legs? What, double standard? Yeah, I think so. Oh, you just don't like triple option. Suck it up. Grow up and play. Don't get me going on this because it's flipping garbage. If you take it away from one side, take it away from the other. Okay? You can't listen, okay? I'm not trying to be soft. I'm not. And I like to think I'm not soft. Maybe other people think otherwise. You take cut blocking away, take away tackling at the legs. Make people, fit people up, wrap up, and let's tackle. Man, because that was a nasty injury. And it's not the first time it's happened with the old tackle at the legs. So, NCAA, what rules committee? I'm talking to you, babe. I'm talking to you. Do something. Do the right thing. Do something. Okay. So let's do this. Let's jump to the semi since we're right here. Okay. Miami, Ole Miss, Oregon, Indiana. You've got a rematch of Oregon, Indiana. And that game is, golly, where is that game? That's the Peach Bowl. That's going to be in ATL, dude. It's going to be in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's Oregon, Indiana. And then the Fiesta Bowl, that's out in Arizona. I think might be Phoenix. Glendale, I'm sorry. Glendale, Arizona. So here's what I think about this. I'm just going to I'll be kind of short. Miami and Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to be able to get the ball out and throw it around. Miami's going to be able to dominate up front, I think. Okay, I think they're going to be able to dominate up front. But Ole Miss is going to have some guys, some plays, some explosives. They're gonna test Miami. But I think Miami's demeanor and the way that they played football, all right, in the quarterfinal game, it's hard for me to forget. Now, Ole Miss shows some absolute resilience to play Georgia, be down at half, and come back and beat them. A team that hadn't really let it happen except for once the whole season. And Ole Miss had them like this in the season, and Georgia came back and beat them. With Lane Kiffin, is Lane Kiffin the issue? Hey, I'm just asking the questions for you. I'm posing the questions. Okay, that's all. Okay, I'm picking Miami to win. I think Miami's going to get the job done. But I think it's going to be very close. Miami's favored by 3.5. I think it might be within that. Give me like a 1 or 2 point win by Miami. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game on Thursday, January 8th at 7:30. 7:30? Now that's great. I figured it'd be at 9 p.m. That's awesome. 7:30. That's good. Oregon, Indiana. Rematch. Indiana won by 10. I think it's probably even looked more dominant than a 10-point win. I don't know how you can watch Indiana and say that they're not going to beat Oregon again. I'm saying Indiana, they're favored by 4.5. I might even pick Indiana minus 4.5 if I'm a betting man, and I'm not. I can guarantee you. Give me Miami, give me Indiana in the national championship. A lot of people said when Miami got in as that 10th seed, the last Power 4 school, they could have a chance to really win the Natty. I think they got a real shot, and they're going to get there. I think they're going to get there. Then they're gonna meet an absolute freight train, and we'll get there when we get there. Will I predict that game yet? No, because I've tried it and I stink at it. Okay, so there's that. Tonight, it is 6:55 right now where I am in Western North Carolina. At 8 p.m., the Division III National Championship of football is being played in Canton, Ohio. And that game is going to be between Wisconsin River Falls and North Central. Wisconsin River Falls is 13-1. North Central is 14-0. Wisconsin River Falls is obviously in River Falls, Wisconsin. North Central is going to be in Illinois. Listen, I love the Wisconsin schools and I love the Wisconsin Division III, their conference. I don't know what it's called, but I love it. They got great football there. But I can't go against North Central. They've just been too good. They've been too good. Okay, they've been too good. So I've got to go with North Central to win this one. And here's the crappy part: is I'm gonna watch it as much as I'd like for it to be a close game. I think North Central's probably gonna blow them out. Give me a 10 or 14 point victory over to Wisconsin River Falls. I believe they're the Hawks. Um, I'm ready to tune in. I think it's going to be a great game. They play it in Canton, Ohio. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. It's going to be 26 degrees. It's going to be cold, but good thing both these teams are used to it. It's going to be nothing for them. It's going to be cold. Hold on a second. And cloudy. That's going to be dark, so it's not like the sun will make a difference anyway. Okay, so there's that. Tomorrow. So now here's the thing. If you're going to listen to this, it's probably going to be after this Division III National Championship game has started or it's over. So don't think that I picked this when North Central goes and wins. You say, "Oh, Jake, you did this after." No, you watched it after. You listened after. And that's okay. But I picked it before. Okay. Let's move on to another exciting one. That's going to be the FCS Football National Championship. All right. And that's going to be tomorrow, Monday, January 5th. And that's going to be at 7:30 p.m. That's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville is just hopping. All kinds of great stuff going on in Nashville. Illinois State is going to play Montana State. And my heart and mind go to one place. I've played at Montana State in Bozeman. Now, this game's not in Bozeman. And also, Montana State was not at this caliber that year. Okay. Illinois State has won on the road for 4 straight weeks in the playoffs and looked pretty dominant in the last 2 that they've played. They beat the number 1 seed North Dakota State Bison. You ever heard of them? They had a bye. North Dakota State did. Illinois State goes to the Fargo Dome, wins, goes for 2-point conversion, last part of the game, and they win. In the next 2 games versus UC Davis and Villanova, they just run the ball right down their throat all game, and the teams can't do anything. Montana State, they have the Brawl of the Wild Part 2 in the semifinals, and Montana State goes up to a big lead. They let Montana come back and actually take the lead, and then Montana State takes off. And they absolutely dominate the rest of the game. I'm going to go Montana State's going to win. You know what? I love the story of Illinois State winning on the road, four playoff road games in a row. Folks, that is not easy. It's not easy to win a road game in a regular season, let alone win 4 playoff games on the road in a row. Against the number 1 seed, you're not seeded. Illinois State's not. And you played 4 seeded teams and beat them all. That's very impressive. But I'm going to go Montana State in Nashville, Tennessee. Montana State's favored by 10. I think it might get to 14. Montana State wins by 14. And I'm fired up about those. I really am. I'm fired up about those games. All right. We got 2 more things I want to go to. All right. I said I was going to talk to you about the Arizona SMU, and that's just the one on my mind. But I mean, it happens everywhere. I mean, it's just everywhere. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am no expert. Okay. And I know there are analytics out there. I know there are lots of minds at work on the headsets during the game, during situations. I understand that. And the head coach has got to make decisions that they think is the best for the team. I get it. And it's not easy. In the heat of the moment, it's not easy. I understand that. But I've got to talk through something here because um it's bothering me. It's bothering me because it happens and it happens and it happens and it's not working sometimes. So it works sometimes, right? Here's the thing about these decisions. If it works, you look like a freaking absolute genius. If it doesn't, everybody's going to say, "Oh man, you are crazy and you need to get fired or do something else." And I don't really believe in that kind of vernacular. I don't believe in that kind of stuff because it's easy when you're sitting here. If I'm just sitting here in a chair and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I would have done this." You just don't know if you would have. Okay. But I do have questions. I want to talk through this because I need to know, and I would love it if somebody, if you have a differing opinion, if you agree, or if you have some answers for me, please let me know. Because I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. So, for example, we're in SMU, Arizona. SMU goes up 24-0, 4.5. Okay. Now, so they're down 24-0. You can score a touchdown 2-point conversion 3 times. Eight. What's 8 times 3? Or 8 + 8 + 8? That's 24. So that would tie it up exactly. So the first touchdown, you got to go for 2. I understand it 100%. Do it. Because you're trying to go 8-8-8. I get it. It's like if you're down 21-0. Why wouldn't you use touchdown, field goal, right? Extra point. Okay, so Arizona scores. This is the start of the third. Excuse me, towards the end of the third. Go for 2, don't get it. So now it's 24-6. Okay. Arizona swiftly gets the ball back, and they're down 18 points. Right? They're down 18. They get down into the red zone. They're in the fourth quarter, mind you. So I mean, it is crunch time. It's 24-6. Arizona's got the ball. They're driving it. They're going. And let's see. So they're down 18 points. If they go kick a field goal, they're now down 15 points. Okay, so that makes it a 2-possession game. They get a 4th and 6. They're on their own. They're on Arizona. Arizona's. They're on SMU's 12. I'm sorry, I've been crazy. And they're going for 4th down and 6. Instead of kicking a field goal, making it 24-9 to make it a 15-point game. So now it's a 2-possession game. If you don't get this, it stays a 3-possession game, and you're not getting any more time back. They go for it, and they don't get it. So SMU gets the ball back. They don't do anything with it. Arizona gets the ball back, and they go down, and they score with 8:40 left in the fourth quarter. So now that makes it 24-12. Okay? So now you can either kick an extra point to make it 24-13. So now it's a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal. So you're at least giving yourself a shot at one of those being a field goal. If you go for 2 and miss it, it's now 2 touchdowns no matter what. So they score and they go for 2 and they don't get it. So now it's 24-12 and it's a 12-point game. It's a 2-possession game still, but now you have to score 2 touchdowns instead of a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Now, you may end up having to score 2 touchdowns anyway, but you give yourself a chance if you kick an extra point there to possibly score 2-point conversion and then kick a field goal and tie it. They don't do it. And so then SMU gives them the ball back. I mean, I think it's back and forth. Arizona, stalls out, punts. Arizona gets the ball. Sorry. Arizona punts. SMU gets it, punts. Arizona gets it. They go and score. 33 seconds left, make it 24. Now it's 24-18. I mean, going for two doesn't matter. So it just makes it a 4-point game. So then you just kick the extra point, and then you try an onside kick, and maybe you get it. And usually you don't get it, and they didn't get it. And, SMU did a great job of getting the ball and getting down on it in the game. Arizona had no timeouts. You know what? So they lost 24-19. Not saying that if they would have kicked a field goal in that first drive and went for it a 4th or 6, do they come back and win and tie? I don't know. But they give themselves a better chance, in my opinion, right? To make it 24-9. And then if you go, say you kick the extra point, you get a little momentum. The field goal. You stop them, you go score. So now 29. Now here's another one we're going to come into. So say it's 24-9. This is now just a scenario. I need you to stay with me here, please. It's 24-9. Arizona's got 9. SMU's got 24. Arizona scores. They make it. It's 24-15. Yes, 24-15. You're down by 9 points. Okay. And it happens sometimes here. I'm gonna give you another scenario too after this. All right. Obviously, in this scenario, you do, or excuse me, I shouldn't say you do or don't. I feel that you just go for the extra point and make it a 1-possession game. Here's what scares me about going for 2 in that scenario. Now, if you have a surefire 2-point play and you know for a fact it's going to work and you've seen it in your mind, it's going to happen. Sure, make it a 7-point game. If you don't get it, it's still a 9-point game. Now, it's still a 2-possession game. Now you gotta go score twice. Whether it's a touchdown, a field goal, or what, doesn't matter. You gotta score twice. So it drives me insane. The same thing if a team scores to make it a I don't know. It's a 2-possession game, the same deal where you can go for a field goal or an extra point and make it a 15-point game where you just got to go for 2 once. But if you go for 2, I know that analytics say go ahead and go for 2 as early as you can, but sometimes that puts you in a bind where it keeps it a 2-possession game instead of a 1-possession game, and then go for 2 at the end and possibly tie it. Because if you go for 2 early and you don't get it, and you don't have a whole lot of time left, guess what? You don't have enough time to score twice. Somebody tell me that I'm just super wrong, because I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. And I understand it a little, but it puts you in a bind. It could put you in a bind at the end. So that was my soapbox I had to get on. I had to leave, or not a soapbox. I had to ask questions about that because I just didn't know. Okay. And maybe I'll learn more in the future. Here we go. The last thing, and now this is great. All right. I'm hoping that you stuck around for this part. I know we're 54 minutes in. Hope that you stuck around this whole time, because we got something really, really solid here. We got a great comment. It's from Max Pennington. I'm shouting out old Maxie here. It's a great one, because it's like a question. And like I said, I'm no guru by any means. I've thought about it a little bit, but we're gonna get into it here. And I would love it if you responded to me, responded to him, whatever you think, because I would love to hear what people have to say about this. Here it is. Hey Jake, transfer portal question. And we know how the transfer portal can be it is the wild, wild west, and it's crazy. If you were playing college football today, what team would you enter the portal for? And he kind of puts, childhood team, best chance to win a Natty, get to NFL, etc. All right. It's a 2-part question, so I'm going to stop there at the first part. If you were playing college football today, what team would you enter the portal for? All right. If I'm a big time freaking player, say I'm a guy who I was I don't know what star, 3 star, sure. And I go to like a Wake Forest or a maybe even I shouldn't say Wake Forest, they're Power 4, but say I go to Louisiana Lafayette or Troy or Northern Illinois, and I'm balling out, buddy. I'm just tearing it up, and I take our team. Say I'm a quarterback, right? Those are the big money guys. I'm a quarterback, and I'm in the portal. I'm saying, hey, I got a better opportunity to go make some cash, and possibly go to NFL, win a Natty, all that stuff. What are the teams I'm looking at? The first one I'm looking at is Georgia. As much as oh man, it hurts me to say that, but that's who I'm looking at because of Kirby Smart. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but you're gonna win a lot of games. You're gonna be a tough dude. All right, you're gonna be a part of a tough team. Um, Now they haven't really taken any transfer quarterbacks, so would they be taking them? Maybe not. So that's another thing to look at. Here's where I would definitely look after the last 2 years. I'd look at Indiana. Especially they had old Curtis Rourke from Ohio. Great year. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman, possible Natty. Okay. That's another I'm looking at. Indiana. Um, let's see. And I tell you one other, and this is mainly because of the head coach, is Matt Campbell. I don't know if Matt Campbell's a big quarterback transfer guy. He hasn't, I mean, he did with Rocco Beck, but that was his quarterback at Iowa State. So he's a transfer, but not really. Matt Campbell is a guy that I'd love to play for. Um, Possibly, and this is a wild card. So those three are the top. The wild card for me, and this might be a little controversial. I grew up in a house divided here, and I was on the other side of this house. Um, Maybe Auburn. Alex Golish. That guy's got a little swag, got a little juice about him. Offense is gonna rack up points like crazy. Um, that might be a fun one too. And then here's one more wild card, and well, you know what? Nah. The other wild card would be to go to a place that runs triple option versions. That's what I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking a couple on top of my head. Um, not I mean, under center's great, but not many people do it. But triple option in the ways of where it's RPO or inside zone triple option, whatever. Um, that's what I'm looking at. So, anyway, that's what Max. Great question there. The other part of the question: what realistic amount of money would you accept? Okay, so what would I accept? Now that part is kind of tough. It'd be hard not to accept the most money that somebody would offer me. Um, I would love to say, you know what? I've got this standard. I don't want it to be over this. I just don't know, if is a kid even able to do that these days? I don't know. I'm sure some kids are. Anyway, a realistic amount of money that I would accept. I mean, I think realistically, you get to 1 or 2 million. That's probably what most. Maybe more for a couple places. Like I know Arch is making like 4 or 5 million, but he's also got some endorsement deals and stuff. I mean, ideally, you don't have to go make multiple millions, and then you kind of have some endorsements out there. The real what NIL is supposed to be is go get your endorsements on your own, not pay to play. But that's a conversation that we've had, and we'll have it again, I'm sure. Um, I mean, 1 2 million. I mean, guys, I don't know what I would do with $1 or $2 million. I do not have any idea. I hope that I would be a great citizen and put it to the. You know what? This age, I would. I would do good things with it, and it would be great. Back when I was a college kid, all bets are off, man. And I hate to throw myself under the bus, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If I were talking to you face to face, I'd tell you this. I don't know. I'm not saying I would just go crazy and do some wild, really bad stuff. I just don't know what I would do with that kind of money if I had that when I was from 18 to 22 years old. I guess 23 because I would turn 23 the last season I played. Even when I was a veteran, 23, buddy, I don't know. It's just a lot of money to give a kid that age. You hope that these kids are learning what to do with the money, invest it, save it, because these kids aren't going to be making this money in the NFL. Not all of them are going to be making it in the NFL. I saw John Calipari had an interview, and this is just a snippet. It was a really good, it was a press conference. It was really good what he was saying. He was saying these kids are going to make this money in college. You know, the ones that don't make the NBA, whatever. They're going to go to a job, and they're going to go get hired for a job. They're going to say, hey, yeah, we're going to pay you $55,000 a year. And they're going to go, excuse me? 55,000? That's a fraction of what I made in college. And that employer's going to say, okay, do you want the job? What are we doing, right? I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's John Calipari, basketball coach. So I know it's not college football, but it's college basketball. But it was good. It's relevant for all sports, football especially. And also NC State's basketball coach, I don't remember his name. Gosh, I don't remember his name. Had a great interview about he was sticking up for his transfer player. That I love that. And I know it's college basketball, but it really fired me up. A coach, you know, these guys were talking about how this guy was not panning out as a transfer. He's supposed to be the ACC player of the year or whatever. And people were just dogging him. Hey, why is he not this? Why is he not that? He said he's a dang good player. You know, he's winning. He's helping us win. It was great. It was really good. And I think a lot of coaches are like that, but it's just good to hear that with the kind of intensity he had. He was mad, but it was great, man. So that's 2 college basketball excerpts that you're getting. Man, we're really branching out here tonight. So anyway, listen, that's all we've got here today. Thanks, Max, for the comment. More people, throw some in there. Answer Max, whatever. And then we'll really get this thing going, and we'll have a great time with these comments. So, listen, thanks for being here. I know it's been kind of back and forth with the holidays. You know, is there an episode? Is not as many? Listen, I appreciate you being here, and I enjoy doing this. I'm glad you're here. I hope you've got some good New Year's resolutions that are going to stick. I'm not going to get on the soapbox here. Make them realistic, right? You get into it the first part of the year and you're gung-ho and 2 weeks go by and then you're just, you're kind of okay and then it's gone. Get something realistic, man. Something realistic. Start smaller, grow as the year goes. You're not going to do it all in one day or 1 week or 1 month. It's going to take a while. Whatever you're trying to do is going to take a while. So make it realistic. Stick to it. Discipline. Don't rely on motivation. Discipline is what's going to get it done. I tell myself that every day because it's not easy. It's tough. Discipline is the way, and it's not easy, but if you can think it through here, you can do it. All right. So, hopefully we got some good resolutions out there. I hope that they go well for you. And listen, this is pad level, man. We're bringing you college football. The season's going to end in a week or two. Really, like a week, almost a week and a half, 2 weeks. So we're going to keep it going through off season. Okay, we're going to keep it going. Like I said, man, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure y'all do too. Possibly some other things that could pop up and could be great. It should be a great year, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you have a great year. I hope you started off the right way and get into a great rhythm and a great groove to get the year going. I appreciate you being here. I love you all very much. God bless you all. All right. And I'll see you next time. Watch a little bit of D3 National Championship. Watch a little bit of FCS National Championship. And watch semis. Watch the college football playoff semis, man. So, listen, have a great night, morning, day, week, whatever it is when you're watching this. I love you so much. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. See you later.